Hello and welcome. Today's date comes in that of Monday. It is the 17th day of February 2020. My name is Derek and this is the Money Charts channel. All bets, trades of the like, well, that's within each's own risk and their own reward. For myself, risk reward management is always job number one. Let's get started within Bitcoin against the US fiat currency, starting off within the single hour time frame, which from this last upper end or from the high area and on the break of this support, just a significant decline, and then it has its correctionary move within the 18, and on a bearish level it does so successfully, thus breaking down below this established low and making a new one. Failed breakout in here. We're going to talk more about failed break move. Well, this will be a breakdown later on with an HBAR hash graph. But until then, we had that in here getting above the 18 average of highs, but still resisting near this high and not getting above, not even really flattening out the 18, albeit close in here. But you can see that this is really the must-hold area. And as this time it's breaking down below, doesn't really do well in here. It has a little bit of support here, but establishing yet a new low. And now we can see here this resistance matching up within this level of its support. And we are now currently in our current period, in period number 6 or so, and within the 18 that is. And you see, if you're seeing the price action get that in below here, breaking down 95.5, then to me, it's safe to say that we'll continue on and look towards where the next leg lower is going to be, as we would now enter in this retracement. Then, of course, any type of a Fibonacci from the kilos, and it's been just such a phenomenal gain higher that we've had all of these key higher lows. So key low to key high. Well, yeah, we could break below a few of these, or one or some of these, and still make what would be a higher low, because well, if you take a look at this on, say, a daily chart, this is a situation where, well, again, the key high, key low, there's a key high up here, the key low down here, this low much higher than this one, and this high lower than this one, this low higher than this one, higher than this one, and if we continue to make this higher low, then the symmetricalness will just stay in play. And symmetricalness is that of uptrend lines that are valid, and yeah, I know it's not the straightest of line, but that's in play. This is in play, and it means that we still haven't finished this, and we can move in the middle of it if we have a little bit of decline. But more importantly, key low down here, key high in here. How important it is for a 61.8, really the must-hold area. At the deepest level is about the 77, but the deepest level would create an inverted head and shoulders pattern. The left shoulder here, the head, and the left. So it's the slot machine number, all sevens, to me is the big must-hold area. And that's a long ways to go if we even get there, given we're at 96.24, and that's a 2,000 price decline. And finishing off within Bitcoin, going back to the hourly again, as I mentioned, breaking down below this, that's the bearish part of it. And anytime getting above the average of highs is an attempt to get this thing back into a trend and then start to now retrace to this 10,500, close to 10,500 high. Right now, that average is, the high end is 97.30, so it's got to get above this resistance just to even attempt it. But of course, right now, it's got a long ways to go just to get there, at least as of the recording of this video. Let's now move on to HBAR hash graph. And we'll take a look at this crossed against that of Bitcoin, which after this long decline had this decent move. It got above, really, you can almost call it, not really, but opening highs, I'm going to say all-time highs, but the highs that it came out with that it started declining with in the September 19th, it got back up to, got above all of this congestion in here. And now the question is this going to be a real move, or is this going to be a failed breakout? And well, we're going to find out with time, but right now, after we've seen it come back in 3 or so sessions down to here, starting to lift off higher like this, hey, you know what? It's looking pretty interesting. And getting above as it is right now, this Fibonacci, we're going to take a little short term, this thing might have the potential to have a decent size move. Getting above where this arrow is in here, I think it's got major potential. The rise on this from the low was like 200 to like 800. That's a 4x move, and that's from the correctionary low. Let alone from this low, the gain is about a 6 or 7x play. And then the correctionary move from the down play, 800 down to 400. That's about 50% off its value. Yada yada. That's a 50% retracement from the Fibonacci that I put in. So how are these Fibonacci levels working? And well, I mean, it's just luck that they hit these lines like this, I suppose. But oftentimes from failed moves comes fast moves in one direction. I can even see a little bit of inverted head and shoulders pattern in here as well. But here's the breakdown. February 13, 1600 hours, comes right down to the support level, this is a 23.6% correction from the breakout lows and the highs. And from that, it fails to get past previous high with 1, 2, 3 attempts. That's from the lows here at 1500. And then after coming down the second time, it kind of supports it piercing above here, then grinds its way lower, hangs in there for a little bit, couple periods, and then concise move down to this level. Perfect resistance at the area which was support. And then it comes down here, and this is where things got really, really interesting. There's the support here, exactly test number 2 of this support, which occurred 2 days ago at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. But it didn't rally for that much, and most certainly not for that long, as it came up for this 477 point. Only able to rally up to about 508, so only able to get about 6 or 7% of a move, which isn't that much. Obviously, just staying in within the 18. And then here we can see we resist it more than supporting it, resist it further. We can resist it from 1900 hours all the way to 7. So 5 plus 7, that's a half a day of resisting this level. And as we can see, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning yesterday, this is telling me that this is going to 347. That was a statement. Oftentimes from a failed move comes a fast move in the opposite direction. So it gets to a 50% retracement right in the middle of these two lines. And then it doesn't resist what it's supposed to do, because you can see there's 2 common ways it's going to make it to 347 or the next key fib level when it does this breakdown like this. Number 1, it's just going to go straight down, and it didn't do that. And number 2, it's going to go partially down, meaning make a lower low to this one, but noticeably above, and then come up and usually resist area where you come from, and well, maybe come up and resist maybe 511 or something like that. It doesn't have to resist 477. It can pierce above it, of course, but it could resist 477. We can see in here at one point that it did resist it at the 16-hour stamp yesterday, pulled back at least down to 461. And it just got a huge move yesterday, 18, 19, 20 hours, all the way up to 581. So it has this failed breakdown, and then we had this first fast move higher, and now we can see how it's correcting. It comes down to the newly rising 18 average, 2,300 hours yesterday. Not quite, but it does support the 477 mark. It's kind of odd, in reality, actually, as it shouldn't be, at least on random math, how it supports piercing above like this. But we can see here green candle breakout. And if you hear dogs barking, that let me know, actually, because then I can know if way back distance is doing it. But I've got to end this video anyway because of it. Anyway, we got the breakout here on the single-hour term time frame. This is a very big statement. This should today get above this and go higher. We'll see what happens. Thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.